Already, no, you already
Might be
corrupt. I'm not. Okay, we're live. Greetings and salutations. This is just a conversation where we talk. It's hashtag what? Talk about it.
Talk about it. Sounds
And
good.
all right. And tonight we have the special guest, the health coach extraordinaire, Miss Michelle Fletcher. I said it right.
Yes.
All right.
That's
And
it.
tonight we're gonna and we I can't forget about my partner in crime. Well, not in crime, but you know what I mean. Is like my partner, Minister. Sorry
Hey,
about that, Amon.
we miss Minister
Donovan
Hayden though.
Amon.
We
Yeah, we
we
miss
really
him.
miss you. We wish
It's
he was here.
like I wish he was here, but he couldn't make it today. But hey, he's here in spirit. Um, and we have myself included, brother Matthew. We're gonna keep it simple. Again, tonight's topic is pretty much we're gonna talk about health, and because I know that a lot of people want to get healthy, but they don't. But it's like I realize it's not just working out. It's being healthy or not eating a lot. Because it's like I seen a skinny dude is more unhealthy than I am,
Yeah.
and I seen a buff dude who can't really bend. So it's like, what is true health? And I hopefully you could actually break that down for me because it's like I need to work out on a diet. I gotta get an actual diet, but even though I don't believe in it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, health is definitely not just one thing. It's a combination of things, and some things are more, like, what do you call it? Have more weight than others. So we know that like nutrition is kind of foundational in health, and so a lot of people look to different types of diets, um, you know, taking out certain things, but it really boils down to just consuming a lot more plant foods, the foods that God put on this earth for us to eat, because in the foods are the medicine. But alongside nutrition, you should also consider moving your body. So exercise is still a part and it still plays a role. Also, getting enough sleep is important too.
Yeah.
People have no idea how much sleep, you know, makes an effect on their health. Like when you're not getting enough sleep. So you should at least be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. And then
7 to 8. I heard differently though, like on a case study. Don't quote me on like where I got it, but just know they said that 4 hours is okay.
really,
Yeah.
oh, well, they say at least 7 to 8. Some people's bodies, though, are
Yeah.
able to handle getting less. So I guess that's an average. But there's actually different amounts of sleep they suggest for different age groups. So, like,
Makes sense.
when their children are younger, they should be getting way more sleep because their body's just in that development mode. They're,
Energy.
they're growing. Yeah, the energy. So they should be getting even more sleep than, like, a grown adult who now our bodies are kind of at the same state other than just the aging process. But so sleep is an important component, nutrition, exercise, and just managing stress. Like, yeah,
That has to be big.
man, stress is a silent killer. And so, if you're under constantly, it's just doing so much damage in your body.
So what is it about working out or eating properly, as you say, it like helps the most stress? Because it's like I know that working out is fun at times, but it's like it feels more stressful than it is working.
Well, you know what? It's if working out is stressful for you, we do need to challenge our bodies for sure. But you should definitely do something that you like to do. So we're always saying the best workout is the one that is fun, that you like. So it could be dancing,
Yeah.
it could be skating, it can be, some people like running. Now, I'm not a lover of running, but I am in a running group. I run, but I hate I feel really good. You get that endorphin high afterwards. But weight training is my thing. I like to do weights. So you find what you like to do best. It could be something back when you were a kid that you like to do. Jumping rope, you know, anything that you feel like, okay, I could do this consistently because I like it, then do it. Because at least you're staying active, your body's moving. So it doesn't have to be what you see all the gym heads doing and going crazy in the gym. Find your thing. It could be swimming too.
So what got you into like wanting to be a health coach more than anything else?
Oh my gosh. So most of my life I've been into like fitness. Fitness has been my thing. So in high school I played soccer. In college I played intramural soccer and stayed very active. Like I went to Florida State University. So
Nice.
they had a state of the art
Yeah,
gym.
they did.
Oh my gosh. And then they had personal trainers that you could get free personal training. So I learned how to use all the
Wait, what?
machines and
Nice.
He's like,
Some
what?
of the perks and benefits
Listen,
being a Seminole,
What's the school called again? It's like FAU.
Florida State.
University.
Florida State University.
Oh, man, you went in the boonies.
Man, it was in the country, yes, but we were right next to FAMU, so that helped me a lot because that was my way to relieve stress while I was in school.
Yeah.
Was working out.
Nice.
So I learned from some of the best trainers, and after college I continued that. Like I played soccer with some of my coworkers. I worked out. I started to help my friends learn how to use the machines at the gym and helped a friend lose like about 60 pounds.
Oh, wow. How did that
helping-
feel?
That felt good.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Would you say it feels better to help somebody drop a whole bunch of pounds than you losing the weight?
oh yeah.
yourself?
I mean, I've never had to go through a weight loss journey, but I mean, it feels really good just seeing that progress. And, she's a childhood friend, so helping her do that was awesome.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
That's good.
And so it started out with just like fitness was my thing. And then it was about a little over 9 years ago, someone shared with me how vital nutrition is and how much it plays a role in health. And that was just like, what? That was eye-opening.
Mind blowing.
Because my family is plagued with, so many health issues, cancer, diabetes, heart issues. So I always thought, hey, that's in my genes, that's in my genetics. I'm probably going to get it. But in the meantime, let me do my little exercise thing. Hopefully that will help me like circumvent.
off
Exactly.
A little bit longer.
Exactly. And so when I heard that nutrition component, I just started to really dive into that information, and I started to learn how nutrition plays a huge role, more than fitness, more than, so
Wow.
it's like what you're putting in your mouth and what you're putting in your body is either causing disease or is causing wellness.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
So I started putting more of a focus, even though I still continue to exercise, but just being more mindful of food, and especially the food nowadays. Oh my gosh, the food that we have nowadays is just crazy because everything's convenience, you know?
Processed,
Yep.
just unhealthy.
Yep. A lot of it,
Yeah.
because they know that we're living such fast-paced lives.
Yeah.
What's easy and convenient for people to just grab and have is processed foods. So, yeah, this part has been really exciting for me too, because I've helped so many people like with their fitness journeys over the years, but then transitioning into that nutritional aspect and educating, especially our community, on this information.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like,
life-changing.
oh yeah, and this year has been just taking up a whole bunch of notches because
that's
so many people are looking for ways to stay healthy.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
got to now.
Oh yeah, the gyms have been closed, so
Yeah.
like, what can
Oh,
we
my
do?
goodness.
And this has been a really sharing this information has been awesome. It's been really good.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, like you said nutrition. Are you like a vegan or
I'm not a vegan.
flexitarian?
Nope. I still eat meat, but one of the main things I do is I incorporate more plant foods in my diet. So I eat meat. I eat occasionally I'm having cake. I mean, if there's a celebration, the holidays are coming up. Of course, I'm going to indulge a little bit. But on a typical day, I'm still going to make sure I'm eating more plant foods
Okay.
alongside. So it's just being conscious of. That's what I tell people, like when they're like, I'm going on a diet. What? Why? I think it's more important to if you're filling your plate with more healthy foods, you can eat. When you think about what's healthy, fruits and vegetables, like grains, those type of things, they're low in calories. So you don't really have to think about restriction. You can just fill your plate with more of those things and then have smaller quantities of the other things.
It kind of balances it out.
Exactly.
Makes
Exactly.
sense. It makes a lot of sense.
It's like a friend of mine. He was telling me like, "Yo, you trying to lose weight, bro?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, what I did lose weight." I ain't asked him that question, but what I did lose weight. He rode his bicycle to work and just brought him a jug of water every day. So that was his thing. He lived like a good distance away, so he's like, that was him. And then another friend, he's like, "Oh, you trying to lose weight?" Yeah. I ain't ask him again about how he did it, but he's like, my process was I just ate a lot of vegetables. I still eat a meat. It's just I cut out like starch and a lot of sweets and for a while, and that helped him to drop. He's like, I'm not that big into working out, but I go to work.
It makes a difference though. It's true. Like just making those small changes, and I love to say that all the time, like one simple change can make such a difference. So like the fact that he probably substituted maybe the white rice for vegetables instead, that makes a difference. And your body, your body loves that because it knows what to do with vegetables and fruits and all these things that have all these phytonutrients and compounds in them that our bodies need to heal itself, to help like excrete waste. It has the fiber, it has all the things that our bodies need. So that was good. And then your other friend who, what did he say he did the first one? Oh, he was drinking more water.
More water
Exercise,
and riding bicycle.
I forgot to mention water, but water's important too. Water's helping your body to like get
Flush out.
Exactly. So I mean, both things were good. Now, if they were to add in a little bit more components, they'd have even more results.
Because it sounded like you gave off like a healthy exercise, a healthy nutrition, like a healthy balance. Just it's not just one thing
Exactly.
that promotes health. So, is there a big misconception on exercise being more valuable than nutrition?
I believe so, because in my mind, that was like the way to stay healthy. You know, for a long time, I thought it was exercise. And I think just with how we have information, more information than ever at our fingertips
Oh wow,
with the internet, so
yeah.
more people are realizing, oh, geez, like working out is good, but if I really want to see results happen faster and see my body get leaner, nutrition's going to be more of a key role in that.
So, which do you think is more important, anaerobic or aerobic exercising? Because a few people I knew, especially in high school, they thought it just building muscle was the most important thing because they do like football or basketball or something like that. And then a few other friends who like did wrestling or they did more anaerobic, so I didn't really know which was better. So
I think a combination of both is, people should try to incorporate a little bit of both. Because, you definitely want to build muscle because guess what? When you have more muscle and you're sitting down, like watching TV, you're still burning calories because muscle is going to burn more calories than fat, right? And then the cardio, I believe for your heart, for your body's function, you want to get that cardio in. You want to have a better like lung capacity and all those things. So I think the combination of both, I think focusing on one, like you have both for a reason. There's both types of exercise for a reason. So some people may do more of like 60 or 70% of one and someone else does a little less than other, like 30% of the other, but
we have a guest asking like which is they said it depends on the body type. So can you explain that a little bit? Like if you they were asking about depends on the body
which type of exercise?
Yeah, when it comes to the exercise.
I agree. It does depend on the body type because you could see I'm small frame and I do focus more on like weight training, but I am still conscious that I need to get my cardio in because I want to have my heart health. There's a lot of things on the inside. You might look good on the outside, but you're not healthy on the inside because you're only doing like one part of what it takes to being healthy. So I agree, but still, even though I'm small and I'm not trying to lose weight, I still get that cardio in. Just make sure you make up those calories, healthy calories, from what you're burning.
But it seems like to health, there's more of a science than just exercise.
Yeah.
And it's just a combination of balancing a lot of things out. Like you said, even emotional. Like you
Yes.
could eat a good nutritional diet, exercise, and you could have an emotional problem up here that could be the deficit of it, unravel it all. So
Yep.
I
Yep.
was just watching the news. It's shocking, but yes, I was watching the news, right? And they said that eating too much vegetable could have adverse effects. Cause you get big instead. I was like, I didn't know how true that
yeah,
is.
so
But
if
it's
you eat
like,
too healthy.
but it's like, I'm
Listen.
like, yo, you just
I
said
don't know about that.
you said apple was good one year, and then you saying it's bad the next. What can I eat?
Who sponsored that message? McDonald's?
No, it was lit. I think I was watching channel 10 or 7 news right before I came here. I was like, what?
Eating too much vegetables.
Yeah,
So-
eating too much
Oh
vegetables.
my goodness.
I was like,
Let's hear the expert.
That is, I'm sad to hear that. That was a message related because first of all, we as Americans are not eating enough fruits and vegetables. So, do you know how many
I believe
servings of
that.
fruits and vegetables we're supposed to be eating as adults?
I seen it on the video. At least 7 for adults, not like 9 to 13.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see, and a serving is
Right.
the fist of your fist.
Yep.
That size. So
Nah,
I know
I
I
don't
don't
know
eat
that.
nearly that.
But listen, it gets even better. So if you're someone who's like working out or you just have like a very active lifestyle,
More.
you should be eating more.
Wow.
16 to 18 servings. And you know why? The
Good place.
nutrition in our fruits and vegetables today is depleted. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
what it used to be.
Yeah.
It's not what our grandparents were eating. So for someone to come on the news and say, "This is," I know they don't want us to talk about this because you know whoever medical, I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
but if you want to stay healthy, you want to be eating as many fruits and vegetables as possible, and you cannot eat too many unless like. I can't even see how you could eat too many unless you have a medical reason that you shouldn't be eating like a certain
fruits
thing,
or
right? But the more you're eating, the better. So think of vegans. Vegans are eating mainly plants all day long. Hopefully they eat mainly plants and not a lot of carbs, but
Hopefully.
starches.
Gotta be-
I heard
But-
about them vegan cakes, man, and brownies. They could definitely spike it up.
Man, they've been kicking it up a notch.
I heard it was
These
it's
vegan
good.
desserts
Yeah,
have
the
been
desserts. That's what I heard. They're
Yep.
really good. But I'm like, boy, I seen like you still big though. How is that even?
because they're eating the wrong, like they eat too many of the wrong things. Because a lot of people.
Yeah, that's it.
I have a friend who's a vegetarian. She was like, man, when she first started as a vegetarian, she was like a carbitarian. She was like, I would just eat
Yeah.
all the carbs
Yeah.
because you just don't know how to adjust from not having that meat that kind of holds you, like keeps you
You substitute
full
it.
longer. Yeah. So you're substituting with carbs, which you burn faster and you get hungrier faster. So you just eat a ton of carbs. But
And the sugar can't be good either.
oh
All
no.
that stored up sugar from
Is
the body.
exactly because the sugars are gonna, you know, even though you're eating like maybe
Oh, wow.
whatever it is you're eating is breaking down into sugar, and guess what? Sugar is another thing. Sugar in your body,
Oh yeah.
it feeds cancer cells.
Yeah.
So we all have cancer cells in our bodies. They're either dormant or you're turning them on, right? Depending on your lifestyle. So if you're eating a lot of foods that break down into sugars, you're feeding cancer cells.
Wow.
So you really want to be mindful about that too.
Yeah, I
Just
knew that.
keep an eye on the amount of carbs you're eating, even if they're healthy carbs. Like in the Caribbean, right? We have like root vegetables like yam and all those things that grow in the ground, potatoes,
Yeah.
and a lot of those break down into sugars.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to be mindful of it over time. I know this because my dad's from Trelawney, and that's where yam grows. But it's so good, but you don't want to be
Yeah.
eating it all the time because it does break down into sugar.
Do you think that generationally we do get trapped and oppressed by the diet that we've been handed down?
I do know
That
in
is a
Jamaican
really-
cultures, veganism looked like a sin at one point.
Right?
It's like,
You're not eating meat. What? And you know, a lot of cultures have that. What? You're not eating meat? But, you know, I feel like when you look back, some of the types of meat we were eating was the worst, the worst parts of the animal to be eating, like the fattiest parts,
Yeah.
the parts that aren't good
Third
for your.
part, yeah.
Yeah. So, I do feel like generationally we do have that, but I don't know. I feel like we're kind of getting more enlightened when it comes to
Yeah, it's coming.
nutrition.
We're
Yeah.
waking up a little bit.
Oh
more.
yeah.
I heard your show, and it was breaking down, I guess, the generational behaviors.
Yes.
And there was a lot of points that you guys were making, like, because like one was so like almost you wouldn't even recognize it as like I don't want to say like just women of color would get their hair done and they didn't want to sweat their hairdo out.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, no one would have ever like really used that as a major point as to why people don't work out. But I was thinking about it and I said it is because a person will not just get their hair done and sweat it out or go swimming. They're protecting that hairdo.
Yep, you paid all that money. You're like, nope, I'll wait a few days before I go to the gym. Yep, that's so true. And even like in that talk, we had talked about, I know growing up, my parents were like, you better finish your plate of food.
That's
And
it.
even if you had a big plate of food, they wanted you to finish this food. And it's just like, oh my goodness. You weren't supposed to listen to your body, which we should be listening to our body when we're eating, right?
Most
and
of the
stop when
time,
we're full.
the
Just
reason
stop.
that
But-
happened is not because they didn't listen, because they ain't touched the food.
Well, that was me. That was me. I had siblings that used to be happy to take whatever I
Exactly.
left behind, but
Hey, Ruth Ann.
oh my goodness, it's you grow up thinking I need to finish my. Because to this day, I still think, oh, I need to finish that. I shouldn't waste my food, but. You got to listen to your body more than that voice in your head, that
That's it.
conditioning you've had all your life.
You also mentioned a good point too about maybe we would eat vegetables, but the way we would cook them, we would annihilate the nutrients. We would
Yes.
eliminate
Oh
every
my-
value that would be good for us out of them. Do you feel like that we're prone to doing that just to make it taste better?
Oh yeah, like when you look at like collard greens and callaloo, those greens are full of so many nutrients. It's like they're off the charts with how much nutrients are in them. And but when we get it on a plate, it's Thanksgiving coming up. That's gonna be cooked down.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
put
much.
some salt, some peppers.
Man.
Shaming some people right now.
Hey,
It's gonna be cooked down so much that by the time it's on your plate, it has lost so much of the nutrition because we cooked out all the nutrients. Like we really like when you're cooking vegetables, just it should be like lightly steamed.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
they say that so that it retains the nutrition.
The
Not
vitamins,
yeah, it might not taste as good.
no,
But
depends if
It
you put a little
does.
salt to it. It's like
Yeah.
it tastes fire. It's just
if you know
I
how to
can't-
season
I
the right
can't.
way, you can make it taste good.
Well, I think we have a culture now of cooking the nutrients out of the food and then trying to season it back up,
Yes.
which is kind of like backwards.
Yes. So we're taking out the natural flavors by overcooking it, and then it doesn't help too because microwaves are like killing the nutrients, and then microwaves. That's a whole nother conversation.
I can't use that to cook. I use it to like heat up leftovers because leftovers fire. But
Yeah.
it's like for fresh food, I gotta cook it.
Yeah. Well, I recommend cooking fresh food on the stove, but like even if you're heating up something that may still have some nutrients in it, that microwave's gonna annihilate it.
Yeah.
It annihilates it. So, yeah, that was a really good conversation we had, and it was
It was.
interesting because it was all the women were from different like islands, and so to hear that we had so much in common, like just the same mentality of cleaning your plate or cooking food down until it's like, soft and not like it was originally. Is there was so many similarities,
Yeah.
but definitely
What about using,
generationally.
vinegar and lemon juice to wash the chicken,
Oh,
to clean the chicken.
I agree with that.
Okay. 'Cause
Yes.
I've seen certain. A friend of mine told me about a certain restaurant whose name I shall not mention. They don't wash it like that, but they serve people.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
pretty sure there's a lot of restaurants that don't go that extra step and do that.
They said that most culinary things they don't
Yeah.
wash it like that. It's like maybe with water, if at, then pat it down and then season it. I was like, wait, culinary people teaching that?
And I'm sure the busier the restaurant, some steps are skipped more and more
Yeah, you're
frequently.
probably right. Yeah, try not to think about it when y'all are eating. Oh my gosh. But that preparation, I guess, some people say, oh, when you cook it, it kills the germs. But in my mind, like, I'm raised to vinegar. There's never a time when there's not vinegar in the house to clean,
Vinegar,
or
salt.
lemon. Yep.
Any of those stuff.
Are things like vinegar and lime, is that good also for the body system too?
It is.
So maybe before we eat or after we eat?
Yes. Like, even first thing in the morning, drinking a glass of
Apple
warm
cider.
Warm
lemon
water, yeah.
warm lemon water. Apple
Flush.
cider is good too. Is good. It helps your body to like release toxins. It helps you to just get things moving first thing in the morning before you do anything. And it doesn't have to be warm, just like lukewarm and some lemon juice, like natural lemon juice.
Nice.
That gets things moving. Vinegar has, healthy properties. Apple cider vinegar, even better, right, with the mother.
With the mother, yeah. I would see that with the mother.
We usually do like a cranberry, apple cider, lemon detox this time of year. So towards the end of this month, we do a detox together where it's like a cranberry cocktail. And you drink it like 3 times a day, and it flushes you out. It flushes you out, and then after a while, you kind of feel like you're not even hungry, which is crazy. By like day 2 or 3, it suppresses your appetite a little bit. So people, they do it. We do it for like 12 days together. And it's just like, we know we're going into the holidays. Let's just like flush out some toxins now because we know what's going to be happening in December. And it's just like a good way to kind of keep yourself in check before getting real crazy.
Yeah.
Nah,
Prevention is
I
always
feel
good.
like you're supposed to get crazy and still try to do well at the
You
same
can
time.
listen, you can still be a little crazy, but you got your cocktail to kind of flush some things out,
Exactly. You just take it
Help.
before, and then it's like, all right, I'm ready to eat.
Yep.
It's always better to prime yourself.
Exactly. It's like that's why you drink the cranberry before. So at least when
Exactly.
you when you start doing the hopping, if you're that type of person, you can like, you ain't eating too much. and
Wait,
showing
you know about
yourself.
hopping from house to house?
Yeah, he's
Oh.
talking about house hopping.
Oh,
He's talking about-
Lord.
That's the Thanksgiving tradition.
Oh,
It's like
my
you hop.
God.
It's like at first when I ain't really celebrated because we just had it at a house, and then it's like a friend of mine introduced me to hopping. And I'm like, wait, this is mind blowing. So it's
Do you
like,
bring your own Tupperware?
what? No, you just take whatever they give you and then just
You
wrap
make
it
me
up.
have a plate.
Yeah, just bless them if you can. Like and just.
So you have like a good 3-4 days worth of leftovers.
That's a nice idea,
That's a good idea.
but it's never 2, 3, 4 days.
It don't last that long,
It
right?
don't last that long. Maybe 1 or 2.
Oh my gosh.
I need to stop showing out my colors, but yeah. I noticed something interesting on your Instagram. You do like this business with these levitating plant girl.
Oh, the vertical garden?
That's it.
Yes. So that's called the Tower Garden, and I'm also a representative for that company. I'm able to distribute them, but it's a way to grow your own fruits and vegetables, 20 to 28 of them on a vertical growing system.
Nice.
And I've had mine for 8 years now.
And that would be indoors?
You can do it indoors or outdoors.
Oh, really?
If it's indoors, you just need to have the grow lights that replicate the sun.
Oh, okay.
But
Tungsten. Okay.
we're in South Florida. Most people here have it outdoors. But some of my Boca girlfriends have it indoors because, hey, they're
You got
fancy like
space
that. But it's a really easy way to grow. Everything on there grows in half the time it would in soil. So,
Oh, wow.
and 1/3 the time you are getting a harvest of plants, it uses 98% less water because the water is recycled within the system, and you get 30% more yield. So
Oh, wow.
they did a study on it versus growing in the soil versus
Yeah.
growing in the actual tower.
Nice.
And even though you use nutrients to feed the plants, the nutrients have been extracted from what is in the soil. So it's just replicating what's in the soil, and it goes directly to the roots. So that's why everything grows so much faster. The roots are no longer having to search for those nutrients. It's getting it directly. So it's been nice having that over like this year with all the recalls and people have been nervous about our food sources. It's been really good just having that system, and it's been growing and feeding us like different types of produce. So right now I have lemon basil growing. I have Swiss chard.
What is
I
that?
have Swiss chard.
I've never heard of that.
Really?
What is
It's a like a tall leafy green,
that?
and I love the way it grows on there. It can get really big. Like the stem looks like the stem of beets. So a lot of times people are like, "Are those beets?" But no, the top of it is like a huge like
Is it
oval
like
leaf.
so it's edible?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Like
It-
you can saute it. You can eat it raw.
What color is it?
It comes in different colors. So like it can have either a red stem, a yellow stem, a green stem. But the leaf itself is green.
Is it bitter or?
Not when I grow it in the tower. I've never had it outside of my tower, honestly. But it's like very buttery. Like it's almost like it has a nice. It's like a light, nice taste. I make it just like a salad because I enjoy it. I grow kale on there. Like if you plant kale on it, you can have that plant on there for up to a year because it just keeps reproducing. Kale is wild. So you're cutting. You're using the kale. But every time you cut it, it's like it keeps reproducing.
Nice, yeah.
So it just keeps giving you more kale over a year's time. It grows tomatoes and squash and watermelon. It does a bunch of
Wait,
stuff.
watermelon? You could grow that on there?
Because it's a viney. It's viney, so you could just grow it on there. Like squash is viney. It grows on cucumbers.
So you keep those at the lower end and then everything else at the top. Okay.
Yes.
Would that be considered organic?
Yes, because you're in control of it, right? So you're not. I don't add anything. I don't spray mine. I do have neem oil, but neem oil is like a natural deterrent, and
For insects.
Yeah, but I don't use that often, and I rarely spray mine. So yeah, it's definitely organic.
That's
You're the
nice.
only one who's touching it,
Yeah.
manipulating it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, because I know the term organic nowadays is like real loose.
I know that's another. Yeah. Organic. Organic's not what you think it is. They have so many little stipulations in there that it can still have a certain percent of like pesticides and herbicides on it.
Yeah.
So, it's not what you would think where organic, it doesn't have anything. If you're buying it from the store, it can still have like traces of things on it. But when you're growing your own, you can make sure that you know what's on your produce, which makes it safe.
I noticed something else that I kind of like respect because I don't really see a lot of people doing it. It's like, where's the affirmation? You get all these different people to say some good thing about I am a strong, independent black woman. I own my own business. I am an athlete going to college or D1 athlete and stuff like that. Why did you decide to do that
Where did you see me do that?
on your Instagram?
But just like you said, positive affirmation is.
It's
But I
like-
do
it's
affirmations
like-
every morning, so I was like, wait a minute, is he?
Hey, I actually do a little research. It's like we do a little
I
research out
can't
here.
remember posting that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Because I know that I might be saying it a little different, but it's like I know that you post like people on there on your Instagram, and then they have some kind of long paragraph right next to
Oh yes. Okay, so I have a team of people that I work with, and we're all part of. They're all part of my team, and we spread this message of inspiring healthy living. It's
Yeah.
all about educating our community because, Lord, if we don't tell them, I don't know who will. And there's so much misinformation out there, right? There's a lot of information out there, but there's a lot of misinformation,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of ways to interpret something that you find online too. So
That's true.
we're here to educate, and so those are people that I work with, and I love to just like showcase them because with what I do and the business that I have, they're all a part of that, and so. Yes, I posted one just today. That's so funny. Yes. But I do daily affirmations. I do that also. I've definitely been through a lot of personal growth like the past 9 years.
Wow.
And that's really thanks to like the community that I'm a part of and just the fact that, personal growth, I don't know if I would have been on a show like this 9 years ago, without the personal growth that I've been going through over these.
9 years ago. I was that introverted guy. Still
Where were you in
am.
high school?
9 years?
still-
No, I was just out. I came out like a year after.
See,
No, the year before. My fault.
youngin.
Yeah.
So, what do you see yourself going with more longevity and
Yeah.
the needs and goals of the community that you see?
Well, this year has just been, I know it's been a rough year for a lot of people, but for me, it really has been a phenomenal year because I've been able to share this message with more people. More people have been open.
It's needed too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
More than ever.
Exactly. And I could see it by the responses. Like I've had people that I've been sharing with for years that this year was the year they have been reaching out to me. How can I get more of what you're sharing and the things that you do? So it's just sad that it took this
Yeah.
virus coming to make that happen. But at the
That's it.
same time, everything is in his time, right? So whenever the timing is right. So sharing this message it's been more of a good thing this year because people have been open to it. People have been changing like their health and having transformations, which is amazing. And then just getting this message out more worldwide. So, I share this message all over. I'm actually from England. I didn't mention. Did you get? I'm from England, so I've been like communicating with my UK peeps.
Nice.
I have connections in the Caribbean, so I've been connecting with people over there to just continue to spread this message. And
Global, right?
yeah,
Nice.
I mean, what do they say? Knowledge is power,
Yeah.
but applied knowledge is really the true power. So having people actually apply some of these things, it can make all the difference.
What motivates you to push and increase more than you have maybe like we said in the past, or what motivates you to keep going and keep increasing and going more and reaching out?
Oh, because I just see like the state of the country, like in the state of especially people of color and the health issues that a lot of us face. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it doesn't have to be like that. People don't realize, a lot of times if they do have a health issue or health crisis, they're relying on what the doctors tell them. But doctors went to school for medicine,
That's it.
not for, they don't learn about alternative methods of healing, which before doctors, right? Before medicine, there were alternate methods of healing,
Yeah.
which were plant foods. There's herbs out there, all kinds of different modes of healing. So just getting back to some of the basics and spreading that message is important because I see how people are suffering with their health, and they don't have to. And they don't have to be afraid either of something like a virus, where if your body is strong enough to fight, you shouldn't be that worried about a virus. Like, your body can fight a lot of things, and that's what, it's there to do. If you're giving it the right things, you can help to heal yourself. I've seen people heal themselves from cancer and various different diseases, so it's possible.
How much of it is a mindset? How much of it is?
Oh,
Because I believe that's
A
what
lot.
really. Yeah, I believe.
oh my goodness.
Like when they say drugs are the substances or chemicals that alter your, like food can alter your.
Yes.
And to me, it's just a mindset to, like you said, if you put good things in your body and you overwhelm, the bad things that you're putting in, you might get a hiccup or a cough maybe, but just like you said, you'll be able to spit that disease out, or you'll be able to overcome.
That is like such a good question because you see it, especially with children. So you know how they label these kids ADHD and ADD.
Yes, yeah,
A lot of times these kids are suffering from nutritional deficit disorder.
definitely.
Their nutrition is deficient, and that is like what they're eating is making their brains
Imbalance.
imbalanced.
Chemical.
And they're reacting in these certain ways in
Yeah.
their behaviors, and then you'll see you change their diet, or you start adding more like good things in their diet, and their behavior changes.
True.
They mellow out. Like they don't need the medication.
No.
Like there's certain instances where yes, you may need medication or that medical intervention, but if you were to try a natural alternative first and look at, I have people on my team that are doctors, and they say there's one specifically, she works with children and that are having behavior issues or issues in school, and one of the first things she does is she has them take a notebook home and write down everything they're eating for a whole week, and when they come back, she's like, okay, yeah, then she's able to evaluate. It makes her job so much easier.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing that you can instantly change
Yeah.
and notice pretty quickly the behavior within that child change.
Yeah.
So you're right, like that nutrition is influencing how you feel. Like food can make you feel depressed. Like
Why is that though? Because
there's certain like you know how there's feel good things and then feel bad things. Like there's certain set like what do you call it? It's going into so first of all, your gut is where everything happens, right? You're eating the food, it's in your gut, and your gut is telling your brain how you feel. And so if you're eating foods that aren't so good, it can be telling your brain, oh, I don't feel so good. So now you kind of feel down, like your mood is down. Like, or you're eating foods that, man, they make you feel like alive, vibrant. Like you're eating these plant foods and you feel so good. And then you have a better mood, like how you're relating and communicating with people is better. It's amazing to see how
it is.
that affects your everyday, like how you're dealing with people and how you're able to focus. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I had better food when I was in college because I probably would have made way better grades because
same
I would
here.
have been more focused. But I ate crap in college. Like, I just ate to get by. I was scraping by. So it definitely, you can see, and kids are such a good example of that because you can't really control how kids' moods are going to be, right? Kids are just kids. They're just going to be however they're going to be.
Yeah.
So they're such a good example of how nutrition can play a role in like mindset and behavior and attitude.
Oh yeah. There's
Because
no filter.
we have this
Exactly.
what's it called? Commenter. They were asking a question about the structure of the mind. So how do you help somebody who's kind of weak-willed, but they want to act, they're finally making steps to improve themselves?
Oh gosh, I feel like that's out of my realm. That's out of my realm. I just naturally I have a very like strong mindset and like I'm very driven when I set my mind to something, but because I'm not a psychologist, I'm not sure how to relay that to other
Okay.
people. I work with all types of people, but you never know what it is for that person. Like everyone is different.
Yeah. Makes
And I can say this because I do work with, like, I have a team of over 100 people, and everyone's so different, and what motivates them is different. So I think that's, first of all, the key drivers, just figuring out what drives this person, what motivates that person, and how can they get more of that motivation and
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
So do you think like small victories is like what helps them to overcome him or her to overcome something like that?
I feel like it does. I feel like small.
does.
So
Yeah.
I learned from this friend of mine. She's pretty awesome. But I started doing this goal board where you put goals that you want to do for like the next 3 to 6 months. But then some of the goals are going to be like harder to attain, and then
Yeah.
some of them are going to be really easy, like
Yeah.
something you could accomplish in a day. But she says the reason for that is because when you do accomplish that small goal, you feel that sense of, oh, I did it. Like,
yeah.
it gives your brain, like,
It adds up.
yeah. And so you feel so good about doing that. Then you're on, and then you take, like, you do it on a Post-it note. So you take that Post-it note off and you put it on the back, but you feel that sense of accomplishment. So
Yeah.
I feel like those things definitely, it reprograms your mind. Like,
Yeah.
it programs your mind, like, I can do it. Like, I just did that.
You kind of trick the brain.
Exactly. Exactly.
Those are big points.
Oh, we got somebody who wants to be called. Who's trying to reach out
Uh-oh,
to us.
caller.
Yeah, we got a caller on audio. I'll reach it out to right now. Because he also wanted to find out if you got Instagram or something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll wait for him to get on the line,
Yeah.
see if he answers.
How you doing?
What's going on?
Oh man, it's like you got any questions?
Questions? I have a lot of questions.
Okay, because he's trying to do a transformation himself, so it's like this is Dwayne, Minister Dwayne.
I did a crazy transformation. I'm going there.
100 pounds.
Hey,
What?
hey.
That's
Less.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like build up your ego a little bit. I'm just trying to keep you grounded. So it's like yeah. But yeah.
You see, that's why folks can't progress in life because nobody wants to show their ego.
No man, I don't feel like that's necessary. It's like you just give them keep them humble. It's like if you're gonna say anything good, you gotta also say something just to bring them down a little
Hey,
bit.
good
But it's
job,
like-
mister. Good job, and keep going.
Honestly, the fact that anybody could put themselves and sacrifice themselves on any restrictions, whether it be eating, whether it be exercising, whatever it be, you know what I mean? The fact that somebody could like put their own ego aside and eat less and do less, you know what I mean?
Sacrifice.
It's a big thing.
I do respect that.
You know,
Though.
listening to everything, it's like, over 2 years ago, when I first started, I was 386 pounds. And I never really took it serious. And, it was like I used to work out. I work out hard, but then I ate really bad. So I would still eat the rice. I would still eat the dumpling. I would still eat the yam, everything. And I wasn't portioning myself. So, like, within the past 6 months, I actually, like, started taking it serious where I cut out the rice, I cut out the yam, the banana, all the starch. I cut all that out, and I stick mostly to vegetables and, fish. I don't really do the meat or nothing like that, which I really stopped eating meat over 2 years ago. And, year to date, like I said, I started when I was 386, and, now I'm at 280 pounds. So I'm over 100 pounds. And, that's like a milestone
That is a great
where, like,
milestone.
not everybody, like, if you even go on the internet, and when you go on the internet, like, Google, like, 10 pounds of fat, and when you look at that, think about that times 90. You understand what I'm saying? And you understand, like, what it does to an individual knowing that you dropped 100 pounds. You dropped a whole human being off of you, by just following, like, simple routines. And it's like, listen, like, your mindset has to be changed. Everything has to be new. You have to say, listen, like, I want to see a difference. I want to see a new person. I want to see what this person can really be, by just by changing the process of how I think life is, and then also trusting the process that I'm doing. And, there's so much tools like that at our fingertips. Like, you can Google a diet, and they'll give you, like, 10 different diets, but you have to stick to one that's going to do with your body type. And, the one that worked for me is just pretty much just cutting out the sugar, the carbs. Rice is like my enemy. When I say rice is my enemy, like, I can eat, like, a plate of rice with gravy, and then I could just, like, go back and eat another plate of rice with gravy. So that's, like, seriously my enemy. And, I cut that out, and it wasn't nothing easy. It takes, like, trust me, it takes a lot just to cut that out. And, when you start to see, your body transitioning and start to see your body changing, you build a certain different kind of confidence where you're like, yo, like, I can do it. And then now you can encourage somebody that also you can do it also, but you have to be disciplined. And if you're not disciplined in anything that you do in life, you're going to always fail. People always say, listen, you're talking about a diet, the first part of it is DIE. Yeah, the first part is DIE, which means die. A lot of things that you're used to doing has to die. Like you talk about breaking traditions, that's the main thing we have to break when you have a certain type of body type where you got to say, listen, like, the rice got to go, the starch got to go, all that has to go, and then you can start introducing that at a later point. Like right now, the only rice I really eat is the cauliflower rice. I don't even eat a lot. I eat like the bare minimum. Like if it can't fit in the palm of my hand, I'm not gonna eat it. And I eat like 6 to 8 meals a day, but it has to fit in the palm of my hand. And I also substitute a lot of that with like protein shakes. Because I don't want to rob my body of different nutrients because I just want to like cut everything off and just say, listen, like I'm done. And when you do stuff like that, everything about you, like your mind starts to open up and like you start to think on a different level. Your breathing is, you start to breathe on a different level. Your sleeping pattern, you start to sleep on a different level. You understand, like, man, like I've been missing this my whole life because you carry around this baggage and you carry around this weight. And when you carry this weight around, it's like you can't sleep right. You can't breathe right. You can't operate right. You think you're doing everything right. It's like Sunday I was telling Mr. Minister Amon, like, listen, bro, like, I used to be able to dig, like, and keep moving, but, like, I gotta, like, check myself now. Like, I can't dig like I used to because guess what? My body's not getting the carbs and the stuff that it's used to getting. So now it's pulling from different areas of my body, like, okay, I gotta snatch this from there, I gotta snatch this from there, to sustain me. I have to get to myself, my mindset, like, listen, I have to understand, like, I gotta slow down sometimes. I can't be that person I used to be because my body was so full of carbs and full of sugar, full of all the wrong things. And now I'm putting the good things in my body, and my body's trying to adjust. My awareness and everything just became so much clearer. Even my skin, I actually so I have to like also I look at myself in the mirror every day and I say, listen, man, I'm proud of you. You know, like keep pushing because it's easy to go back to where you're coming from. It's so easy to go back to where you're coming from, but it's hard to look in the mirror and say, listen, keep pushing and keep pressing because sometimes you're in this journey by yourself. You don't have a group. You don't have anybody that can say, listen, I lost 100 pounds or I lost 100 plus pounds. So you know, I'm here to motivate you. You have to motivate yourself, and if you don't motivate yourself, you know, don't think anybody's going to motivate you or cheer for you in your corner. You know, you have to. It starts with you as an individual. You want to change, you have to put that change in. The change you want to see have to first start with you. And you know, I had to put one foot in front of the next and keep on pressing and keep on pushing. And like, listen, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. You know, the chat I hear around me now is like people like, yo, stop, you're losing too much weight. Like, don't lose no more. And I'm like, the devil is a liar. I'm gonna get to where I want to be. You know, my goal is to get to like 240, 250, and then I'll think about stopping. But until then, there's no quitting. And then when you have that mindset, when your mind is developed and your mind is, when your mind is converted and your mind is made up, there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can stop you.
I respect
You know, and
that.
people, we have to understand, even as believers, like people pray to God, like, oh, my blood pressure is high, I'm gonna fast and pray. No, the Bible says faith without works is dead. So you have to put some work behind it. Stop doing what you used to do. You know, stop frying up all them plantains and all that good stuff. That stuff that's really good.
Man.
You know, I look at Minister
You gotta
Omar,
say
we're
that,
in
though.
Jamaica. Me and Minister Omar was in Jamaica, you know, a couple years ago, and I'm looking at eating. I'm like, bro, I wish I could eat like this man, because you know, if I eat what he was eating, and I'm talking about we're eating like late at night. I'm like, if I eat what he was eating, nah, it ain't gonna sit too right with me.
No.
You know, and his body's developed to burn it off, or my body is developed to store it. You know, so I had to recognize my body type. I had to recognize everything and say, listen, like, you know, what works for me might not work for the next person. But first of all, it takes a made up mind. Like, listen, you want to see a change, you have to be the change. If you want to live, you have to want to live. You know, and it starts with you as an individual. You know, with the process is not always go easy, but you have to trust that process and understand that that process can't change, and it can't change you as an individual. But you have to trust it, and you have to believe in it.
Hey, we do believe, man.
Good
You
job,
gotta-
Minister,
you gotta
man.
put
I'm
it-
proud
you
of
gotta
you,
put in
man.
work.
Keep
I like
going.
your final thoughts, man.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
He's
wonderful,
passionate.
though.
Yeah, you're on it.
Hey.
Your mind is there. It's good.
His mindset is there. I'm curious though, because like you said something kind of interesting. I love to hear y'all thoughts on it. There are times when you have to slow down. What do you think of that?
So that stuck out to me too because I know a lot of times when people are losing weight, at certain points you can almost like plateau where the weight's not coming off anymore, right? And you have to be mindful because a lot of times people are cutting back so much. You need to make sure you're eating enough calories for your body, for your height and your weight. Make sure you're getting enough calories because a lot of times people are still not getting enough calories for their body. And guess what? Your body's going into starvation mode and it's holding on to every single thing and you're not losing weight. So what came to mind was you might not be eating enough in calories because you are eating a lot healthier. Fish is low in calories. Fruits and vegetables are low in calories. So be mindful that you're eating enough calories every day so that you have that continued energy. You should feel energetic with the type of diet you're eating, but just be mindful that you're not getting enough calories. You might not be getting enough for your body.
And even in ratio to maybe working too, because
Yes, and if you're working out, then you need to add even more, some more to make up for what you're depleting when you're working out. So be mindful of that. That might be what you're noticing with the lack of energy is that your body just doesn't have enough fuel right now.
Heard that? Okay.
I heard
Okay. I was checking. It's like the silence is like
He's digesting it.
okay.
you know, in the fact that, you know, when you start to see results, or when you start to see, you know, stuff fast tracking in your life, you tend to want to stick to that, and you can
True.
overbear yourself and overwear out yourself, you know, because like you'll see results and it's crazy. So you say, man, this works for me, so I'm going to stick with it.
But the body adjusts.
Trick the body and let the body understand, like, okay, now I'm gonna overload you with carbs today or tomorrow, and then guess what? Boom, I'm gonna go right back to what I know. You know, so she's right. You know, what I mean, at the end of the day, so you do reach to that point sometimes where you do plateau, and you just won't move. I was at that point at
Keep eating more of the
you
good
try to
stuff.
like trick your body. You know, it still takes a crazy mindset to just keep on pushing. Yeah.
Yeah. Last question. I will, because well, not really question. I'm just bringing it up. I remember I was talking to Mr. Amon, and he was telling me about different workout techniques we could try doing, and he's like, it's like one of the key things is it's not about lifting heavy. It's about lifting. Even Mr. Hayden was saying the same thing. It's not about lifting heavy. It's about lifting a mix of different weights, right?
Well, it all depends on what you're trying to achieve. Like me at this moment, I mean, I do lift weights just so like I'm trying to like eliminate some of the sag, you know, on my body. So I do a lot more reps and a lot less weights. Now, I do have once a week where I do go heavy weights. You know what I mean? Just to like, pretty much like break my muscle or you know what I mean, and just keep on moving. You know, so I don't really lose that intensity that I always had. So, but most of my workout is pretty much CrossFit. You know, it's just a lot of high intensity, a lot of reps. You know what I mean? And then we do have that once a week where we just go heavy and, try to jerk the body up a
That's
little bit and
brutal.
get used to,
Yeah.
the high intensity and just get used to the higher reps. So, like I said, it all depends on everybody's body type. Like what works for me might not work for you. So you have to figure out what works for you, and just push along that line and push along that grade. You know, what works for me, might not look at JB. JB lost over 100 pounds and he doesn't even work out. You know what I mean? He drinks a lot of water and he eats right. You know what I mean? He don't even go to the gym, period.
Yeah, you change up
Like,
his
if you
eating
force somebody to
habits.
go to the gym, he's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
It all depends on each individual. You know, what works for him might not work for me. You
Exactly.
know, so, yeah.
I hear you, man. Thanks again for calling.
We're proud of you.
Hey,
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
I wish I was here to
Hey,
sit here and talk to you.
hopefully she comes out another time. Not right after, but just give you a little space so you can get some breathing room. But hopefully you come back another time and then you hear it.
Yeah, next time she comes here, I'm gonna be like Minister on my side.
You say you at your size? Oh God!
I might gain weight.
Hey, God understands.
He knows.
Oh
He
man,
knows my heart. He knows what I'm trying to get to.
exactly.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a
Well,
good night.
good night.
Night.
All right. Well, I want to say we come close to the end of our podcast. So, any final thoughts?
It was a great show. A lot of information. I thank you for coming out. When you mentioned about different aspects of healthy, I really believe that there are different aspects. There's a science behind the science of it. There's a science behind the exercise of it. There's a science behind the diet of it, the nutrition factor. It's not just one thing. And like we were hearing examples of, each person's body makeup is different.
Yeah.
And what works for me might not work for the other person. And like another thing that you were saying, to motivate your mind in ways different than we've come before, like the traditions and the bad behaviors that has been passed down to us. Once we get the knowledge and we educate ourselves as to what to do, like as we know what feels right to our body,
Yeah.
it makes such a big difference. And then we could then in turn explain to someone else to help them out, and maybe their body chemistry is like us, and it will help. Maybe it's not, but then you get to know them and their body type, and it's a beautiful thing that you're sharing this information. Not just because you've accomplished so much already, but there's other people that look to you, and they're like, wow, you did it. I would like to, and it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing that you could keep on spreading that. So I wish you continued success. I know
Thank you.
God is with you. He's
Thank
he's
you.
all over that right there. And I just hope that you go out and even in this time like the corona, to more and more forums, more and more interviews, more and more Zoom meetings and things like that.
Yeah,
God
that's
bless
my
you.
goal.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being on the show for sure. And I enjoyed talking with you guys.
Any final words?
If anyone would like to find me, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Health Coach Mish, MICH, half my name. On Facebook, I am Michelle Fletcher. I'm usually the first one that pops up, I think, most times. And there's other avenues. I'm on YouTube too. I also have a YouTube channel. So, or you can always contact.
Yeah. What's the YouTube though? It's like.
I can't remember.
I think it's
That's
Michelle.
right.
Yeah, I think it's Michelle Fletcher.
Yeah, I think it's my name.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's my name. Hence why I was trying to not say it. 'Cause
I had
was
to bring it out, man.
And I have
couldn't
so
let
many
it pass.
videos on there. You should think I would know it, but
It's all good. Well, my final thoughts. I learned some things. Hopefully, you guys learned something too. This is just a conversation, and we say hashtag.
Talk about it.
All right. Good night.
Good night, folks.
good night.